All right, hello, Sooner Nation. I was just telling Goss, I was like, man, it's probably be a quick pod. And Sharon Moore said, hold my beer. What in the hell happened? I do love but I do love the meme. I don't know if you saw the meme I sent where it's the guys tipping each other's caps to each other because it's Caleb DeBoer.
Yes. I mean, I guess this. I mean, who's the funniest person to go to Michigan? Would it be the fact if Caleb DeBoer really does go? Would it be funnier for them to hire Brian Kelly and to hear him bust back out his Midwest accent? Would it be that Lincoln Riley is there and we get to go and play Lincoln Riley next year and we didn't think we would? I mean, those are kind of the three betting favorites out there right now. I mean, if you really ask me to put money on it, I'm probably going to say it's the guy who went with Harbaugh as the DC to the Chargers, probably comes back and takes the job. But holy crap, Jeremy. I mean, this is wild with Sharon Moore.
Yeah, I told Goss there's only one woman that I would do that for, and that is my loving wife. And
that's not what you said earlier. Yeah.
Aboard.
Yeah. And we're pod number 2.
And start
your Victoria Silvstead Playmate of the Year stuff you were trying to throw out earlier. But
that's what I told Goss. I said, it will always just be my wife, and I'll stick to that until my death. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is for any of our Soonercast gentlemen that are out there, and any of our followers, it's not worth it. Don't do it. Okay.
Money.
I mean, good gravy, guys. This guy was the head football coach, University of Michigan. And this, some of the stuff that came out just, I mean, automatically of like, okay, my mistress, I'm going to double her salary too. I mean, like, that's not obvious. I guess he was also following all these college girls and OnlyFans models on his open Instagram. And I mean, good grief. I mean, once again, and we're going to tie this back to OU. Number one, Sharon Moore is an OU guy.
Yeah,
number 2,
is that how you're tying it? Is that okay? Just because he's
number
an OU
2,
guy.
No, this is a better way of why I'm tying it. This is the kind of stuff, once again, why I'm glad Brent Venables is my football coach.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not who Brent Venables is. It's not.
Yeah. Hey, but also too, going back to coach, he's known to be the ultimate troll job, and I can see him doing it because he's a scumbag. Urban Meyer, Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, believe me,
awesome!
If Christ is right, he would do it.
I would just follow Michigan every Michigan game if that happened. I'd just be like, "This is good. This is viewing."
Well, I mean, this is obviously important to us guys. You know where our second game of the year is next year? Mm-hmm. The Big House. Okay, we're going to Michigan next year, so. I mean, what's this mean for the future of Bryce Underwood? I saw that.
How much does it cost to get him to Norman?
Tyrann Mathieu, or however you say his name, the former LSU D-back, is already tweeting at Bryce Underwood, "Come on home." And I mean, let's be honest, this is an absolute pot kettle. But Lane Kiffin's got some tweets lined up for this that are out there. And I mean, if anybody probably doesn't need to weigh in on this, it's the Lane train. But yeah, wowzer. I mean, is this just not Jeremy? I mean, is this not just the most epic Twitter year of football ever?
Yeah.
I mean, and I say that.
I don't remember a year like it.
I mean, think of the jobs that have came open. I mean, Michigan, Florida, LSU. I mean, these are huge jobs. Penn State, who was preseason number 1. And I mean, it is absolutely and totally insane. And I mean, the fact that Kalen DeBoer is going to have to either A, take the Michigan job, B, answer questions about the Michigan job, as he's getting ready to play us in the college football playoff, is just distraction city. And, there's also a big internet rumor that that Ty Simpson's got a herniated disc in his back. And that, I mean, so there's lots of, and we're not, obviously I'm not reporting, that kind of stuff, but I mean, this isn't just one random, NBA Sentinel type stuff. I mean, this is stuff that's out there. I mean, just the wackiness continues. But in all seriousness, it sounds like the Sherrone Moore thing has went from bad to worse. So legitimately, prayers for him, his wife, his kids.
I think probably more prayers for him, but his family. This isn't what you want to start.
I mean, holy.
Not to mention this is not the best time of year to be doing stuff like that. The holidays. I mean, I'm just kind of speechless. I'm going. Okay, let's get into the OU Alabama game. How much validity do you hold in this Ty Simpson back deal? I mean, it's so hard right now because everybody's looking for clicks. Everybody's looking for, hey, look at me, follow me. It's just
okay. Follow the stats. How good has Ty Simpson been since the OU game? In the Iron Bowl and in the SEC championship game, was Ty Simpson very good? No, he wasn't. Did it look like Alabama changed their offensive game plan a little bit in those games where they were throwing more stuff at the line of scrimmage than they threw previously in the year? Yes, it did. So do I think there's some truth to it? Yes. Do I think Ty Simpson's going to play against us? Absolutely. And, whether it's horse tranquilizers or what they're going to shoot him up with, I think he'll be playing quarterback. But I think there's too much smoke for there to be no fire here. What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, would I be a jerk if I said I hope he does play? I mean, we have obviously shown we can stop him. They have shown too that if they can't run the ball, they are a very abysmal offense, which is very similar to a team that plays in Norman too as well. So one thing too that I'm kind of excited about is Carl Albert won the state championship, and right in the middle of their celebration with Xavier Robinson jumping around with him. So maybe that's a good sign. But I do think we're going to be somewhat the healthiest that we've been all year. And I just looking at Alabama on the other side, I don't know. First off, Ty Simpson is not playing good football. He's very similar to what John Mateer is right now. Mm-hmm. If you want to look at it, I mean, these two teams, Alabama and Oklahoma, are very similar to each other. Just good defense. I do think our defense is just maybe a hair better than theirs. Mm-hmm. But that said, I just feel like it's going to come down to which team makes that big play. Who turns the ball over?
And who makes the big mistake? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
make those big plays on the defense. That's how we beat them in Alabama. That's going to be how we beat them in Norman. So,
and I mean, you look at Simpson. I mean, 19 to 39 in the Georgia game. I mean, 39 passes to get 212 yards it's not great, and so there has to be some proof in the pudding there. And I mean, I'm not even counting the Eastern Illinois game that happened between our game and the Auburn game. But in the Auburn game, he throws 35 times for 122 yards. So, I mean, those are a lot of passes for not a lot of yards.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you look at the Kalen DeBoer offense, which, longtime listeners of this pod know I've been skeptical of that hire from the very beginning. But when you look at the good Kalen DeBoer offenses, the Michael Penix that got him the job, and you look at their road to the national championship game, passes downfield, there's tough passes, there's passes over the middle, there's passes down, and it's more of that attacking style offense. And we haven't seen that the last couple of weeks out of Alabama. So hopefully we don't see that again here, I guess a week from Friday. But again, I do think there has to be a little bit of smoke that's coming from this Ty Simpson thing. What have you heard on Jam Miller, Jeremy?
Not a whole lot. I mean, it's been pretty Simpson heavy just because of the position he plays. And to me, I think there's going to be a lot of trash thrown out there between this time, in the 19th. So I don't know. I think we're all going to probably find out a little bit more next week. But right now, I think it's a guessing game on a lot
I'm
of stuff.
assuming since this is not an SEC game, I don't think we'll get the availability report.
No.
I
think they do have to put an availability report.
But I don't think it's quite as early. I think it's more like I don't think the guidelines are exactly the same. And I'm not going to lie and tell you, I know exactly all the rules because people have to realize there's been some people ask about where to make some changes to game day. And speaking of that, college game day will be in Norman next Friday. So that's an exciting thing. But the college football playoff is hosting this game, and they're just hosting this game at Owen Field. Okay. So I think all the in-game things are going to be there. Okay. For those Shout fans, you're probably still going to hear Shout. For Miniman fans, you're still going to hear that. You're still going to get all those things, but there's going to be some differences. Obviously, we've never hosted a playoff game before. I'm obviously really excited to see some of the differences, but just know that going forward. But going back to the availabilities, the next thing I want to talk about, Jeremy, is you and I have both heard, and we've both heard through probably some similar sources that there's a rumor going around. This is a rumor. This is not me saying this, that R. Mason Thomas is healthy enough to play, but there is some question of whether he's going to play or not because of a draft. He doesn't want to hurt his draft stock.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's what a Brent Venables guy is going to do.
No, I don't know how much I can believe that. And I had a conversation with my brother earlier today about the same thing. He was like, "Do you really think that R. Mason Thomas wouldn't play?" I said, "No, I don't."
I mean, if this was the ReliaQuest Bowl, no.
Absolutely. And I would be upset if he was playing, to be honest with you, because obviously this guy, and there's a lot of talk that he's going to come back next year. I mean, so I don't know. I think he helps his stock if he comes back.
Well, I think him versus Proctor. I mean, what's Proctor's – Caden Proctor's who I'm talking about here, the huge offensive lineman at Alabama, puts in the backfield every once in a while. Humongous guy, was a big blue chip recruit. His number one weakness is a speed rush. That's R. Mason's strength. And so everybody in the football-loving universe is going to be watching this game a week from Friday. Okay? You go out there and throw up a 3-sack night in that, you think your name's not going to skyrocket up those boards? I sure as heck do. So I'm very confident that if he is available to play, he's going to play. And the information that's coming back to us, and like I said, Jeremy and I, and you guys know this, we're not insiders, okay? We're not at practice, but we do hear a few things. And the information that we've heard is I do think he's going to play.
I do too. To me, when you play college football, this is why you play college football, is to be in these games like this. This is OU, Alabama, two blue bloods playing in a playoff atmosphere. I mean, it just, if you can't get up for that and you're going to sit out that doesn't, in my opinion, look very good on the NFL scouts.
Right.
I mean, and also too, all it can do is help him at this point. I understand you worry about injury and you've got a lot of people we don't know what the situation is. There's lots of situations that God dang it, just blanked on who. There was a guy in the Stoops era, Jeremy Bill. Yeah, this hit me. Mm-hmm. I remember when he went out for the draft and everybody just slammed him, and it all boiled down to is he needed money because his family was struggling. And it's just like sometimes with situations, I think as fans, we look at it as, oh, this guy's just selfish and he does this or that. We don't know. I really don't know. But I do think he'll play.
But we don't know situations. I mean, it's just like, we got on here and we both kind of ripped David Stone a little bit whenever he was going to, leave. And we're certainly glad he didn't. And, understanding here, there was some information that was out there and some family things that were going on. We don't always know those situations, but we believe that. Now, I do not believe the information I've got. I don't think anyone who's expecting Kendall Dolby or Javonte Barnes, I'm not expecting those guys. Maybe there's some updates that are out there that, different things. It's kind of the same thing with Taylor and Sexton. I'm not anticipating those guys. I think this is going to be just the best representation of the core group that we've played with is going to be out there. I think Michaela will be back. All those things. I think that's what's going out there. At least that's my opinion based on a little bit of information I have.
And if you want to look at anybody, if they said, gun to my head, they said one person you think that would play that hasn't played this year, I would say Barnes. That would be the only one I'd say. Because we are so slim at running back.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Jeremy. Would you rather? I was asking somebody else this. Would you rather, if we had to play Javonte Barnes or Jay Knott, who would you rather see out there?
Barnes, without doubt. Okay. And the reason you want me to tell you the real reason is because Barnes is a better pass blocker. And I feel like if he went in there, Jay Knott's quit. I mean, at this point, he has moved on from this team. And for us to run him out here is a disservice to me, to any other running back. I mean, crap. Throw what's his name, Andy Bass out there. I'd rather have him than Jay Knott. Just because you watch his body language, you watch how he plays. It's just like,
well, it's just the antithesis of everything this team's about, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not hard to kill,
Yes.
It's not. It's a totally.
It just diminishes to me when you put him out there and you watch how he acts and stuff like that.
I think we're on the same page. On that. We talked about this last week. Gentry's not going to be back, but I do think this does give some time for Jaden Jackson to be healthier, that sort of thing. And Jaden's a warrior. He played hurt a large portion of the year. I think this time off will make him better. Okay, Jeremy. If I remember us talking in the preseason about the fact that OU didn't have hardly anybody on the preseason all SEC teams. Okay. And you were to go and tell me we're going to have 10 people on the SEC postseason teams, and none of them are John Mateer, Jade Knott, Kip Lewis, or David Stone. Now, I've got issues with the last two not being on there.
Yes.
Believe
David
me,
Stone is a disservice to college football. So.
And I mean, not having Kip and David Stone is just wacky to me. But as much as Jeremy and I have been called sunshine pumpers, if I would have came out here and said, guys, guess what? We're going to have 10 players on there, and here's not going to be any of them. That's how good and deep we're going to be. That's going to be the screen cap they use, by the way, when I looked pretty effeminate right there. So get ready to that one out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can really got to start looking at those edits.
But anyway, just give me some all SEC thoughts that you've got, Jeremy. Because
also, too, another thing was you just said our kicker is going to be first team all SEC, and he is going to have perhaps, and they were looking at this, the most record-breaking year in college football history. Somebody told me that. I've been like, yeah, he missed his first kick of the season, and he hasn't missed anything since. So, like I've said in the past, Tate Sandell is, yes, to me, he's worth the money. Gosh, you're muted again. But when I start talking about Tate Sandell, it's just like we all just I get those little butterflies in my system. So sorry.
But, I do remember when Tate missed that first kick. I leaned over to, I think it was Allie who was beside me, and I was just like, "Yep, should have paid more money for that dude from Texas."
You're like, cut his ass.
Yeah, I'm like, whoops. But no, I mean, a motivated. I mean, it is really sweet of the SEC to not put David Stone even on the third team. I mean, the two biggest psycho killers we have are David Stone and Kip Lewis, and we didn't put either one of them on either team. So thank you, SEC. We certainly appreciate you. Thank you for stopping
I am
by
excited. I am happy they put Taylor Weim on there. I thought that guy had an unbelievable.
Hey, how about?
Season.
I mean, started the year off good, kind of lulled, had a decent game last. Jaron Kanik on the third team didn't have that one on the bingo card. So
hey,
good for Kanik. I mean, when you got a stud like Joe John as your tight ends coach, you're just going to produce all SEC people. And
I've been trying to keep an eye on the portal. Like, is Bauer Sharp coming or is he not? I mean, just
But,
I mean, he's like, I got to go back to these guys on Sooner Cast. They've been talking so much love about my grandma.
Yeah, exactly. But Hey,
but I was a little. To me, I thought Peyton Bowen had a hell of a year, and I would have liked to see him all SEC. But we play in the SEC. It is hard. I mean, you got to be. And if you wanted to wonder why we want our Mason back, he's a first team all SEC. So those are good guys to have. But one thing I want to mention is we got to see Taylor Weim without our Mason against Alabama, and we just destroyed Simpson's life that game. Can you imagine if we got them on each end? That's why I'm just like, I think our Mason knows that too. He's like, my God, the way Taylor Weim's been playing. Can you imagine? I'm going to get some one-on-ones. And he is. Well, I mean,
and with the injury trouble that Alabama's had at running back, and this has probably been part of why they've thrown so many short passes, is those running backs aren't going to be as good at picking up blitz coverage. I mean, that's talking about Javonte Barnes. Javonte's an older guy. Javonte's been coached up. You can grab about DeMarco all he wants, but DeMarco doesn't do everything how we would want him to do. But he's made a good pass blocker out of Javonte Barnes. Yeah. And I mean, that is something as the guys get older, they do typically get better at. And so Alabama being thin there, I mean, that's just another feather in our cap. The last thing I kind of wanted to talk about as far as preps for this game, I saw it, and I'll give George Stoya credit for this. I saw George put this story out, and I dug a little bit deeper on it of just kind of like how Brent Venables as a DC has done when he's played a team twice in a year. And since he's been DC, it's happened 4 times, 3 times at Oklahoma, 1 time at Clemson. And in every one of those games, the yardage went down and the points went down every time. So first time was 2000 K-State. First time we played them, they gave up 31 points, 355 yards. The second time we played them, gave up 24 points, 239 yards. 2002 Colorado, 378 and 11 points the first time, 193 and 7 the second time. So it's pretty good if you only go up 11 points the first time you play somebody and it still goes down. 2007 Missouri gave up 418 yards. Second time we played them, 317. Score from 31 to 17. The biggest difference was his most recent one. In 2020, Clemson played Notre Dame and gave up 47 points first time they played them. And second time they played them, gave up 10 and went from 518 to 263. So pretty good adjustments by Brent Venables. As he says, why are you going to call the defense? Because I'm good at it.
I'm damn good at it. Hey, another thing of a snub. How can you have 12 finalists for Coach of the Year and Brent Venables isn't one of them? I mean, thank you again.
Yeah.
Because you know who notices that? His players. As his players have been the one that mentioned it more than anybody.
And I mean, again, man, like this is something we talk about OU being behind on some things like in-stadium things and some things like that. But like something we're not behind is like our graphics department and some of the stuff they put out on social media, like with the sights and sounds type stuff. And I mean, the clips they had, I mean, Josh Pate loves to talk about how, they used clipping him up, the motivation for that Tennessee game. And if you don't think all that stuff's being clipped of those guys, Brent not being honored, Stone, Lewis, that sort of thing, those guys not being on there. If you don't think that's going to be used as motivation, you got another thing coming.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm told that home playoff games that you get to do your intro videos and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just like a home game.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm going to mention this real quick just because I'm like, it's kind of the elephant in the room. But like with bowl games, they I think they're going away. And also too, I understand where they're getting upset about it, because some of these big name bowls, it's like, if let's say we win and make it to against Indiana, they're going to be like, you're Rose Bowl champions. No, we're not. We just moved on to the playoff. Take the bowl games out of it. I understand you're trying to make money, but if you want to get these teams to stick around and play these games, leave the bowls. To me, I think the first 2 rounds, because they're going to go 16, it's going to happen. The first 2 rounds should be at home games, in my opinion.
I mean, you at least have to go to 16, so every higher seed gets a home game. I think that's
and to me, it's just like that's a reward for higher seeds. It's not only 1 home game, but 2, because can you imagine all the money that's going to come through Norman next Friday?
A lot. I'm going to be spending some of it.
Yeah, but to me, that's the whole point of this. It's like that's the reward, is all the money that you're bringing to your school. You're taking it away from these teams, and you're taking monies away from bowls, and it's
the poor Rose Bowl, Jeremy. I mean, what could they do without it?
Yeah.
But
we're gonna have flashbacks from that Georgia.
This is gonna be old man yelling at the cloud meme here, but I don't like these teams opting out of bowl games.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I just think it's such a terrible example to set of just taking your ball and going home. And you know what? Even if you go to a bowl and you don't have your whole team and people opt out, do you not think some of those like lower tier guys at Notre Dame wouldn't have loved to maybe get a start in a bowl game?
Yeah.
Do you not think that would have been a cool deal for them? I mean, here's the deal. The Armed Forces Bowl last year for us, or whatever that was, sucked. We lost to Navy. We were bad. But there were some guys who started those games who will never start another game for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They got to go out there and be a starter for the Oklahoma Sooners, which is a big stinking deal. Mm-hmm. And you know what? We lost to Navy, and it sucked. But now we're in the playoff. And I'm not saying it's because of the Armed Forces Bowl we're in, but it didn't knock us down so much, despite me peeing and moaning about it. It didn't knock us down so much that it killed us. If you earned it, you owe it to the kids. Those kids are there to play football. Let the ones who want to play.
Yeah. And
because for every big NIL bonus baby who opts out, there's a walk-on, or there's a guy who, is a third stringer who's busted his rear all year long. Let the guy go play. Let him play.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I will never forget this, and Goss knows it. There was a kid that played basketball with us, and he busted his butt every practice. And he was, just balls to the wall, never played. But I'll never forget one time I got mad at him because he was busting his butt so much that I'm just like, will somebody get him a uniform?
Yes.
Because, he was making my life a living hell. But these are guys that you don't ever hear about, and this is their chance to play, like Steve just said. It's like they never get to play. This is their chance. And I think it's not fair to take that away from them, in my opinion. So, but no, I agree 100%. I just think it's kind of, it's like you said, take my ball and run away.
Speaking of basketball players who aren't very good, let's move on to Sooner basketball here before we finish things up. Now, this is my PSA to Porter Moser and the Sooner basketball team. We have a pretty big game coming up. It's Bedlam. Oh, quick aside on Bedlam. Shout out to Coach Morris, who said he's open to bringing Bedlam back. And I know there's a lot of naysayers who are saying, well, we've got all these contracts and we don't have an open date till 2034, and maybe OSU does it 2035. They can play next year if they wanted to.
It's changing. The landscape's changing in college football.
So don't bleed all into that. I'm all for Bedlam Thanksgiving weekend. Think it'd be great. Yeah. We don't have a rival other than Texas that I'm good with that. I'd 100% be good with that. Plus, be a pretty easy game to go right before the SEC championship coming up. Take that as you will. But would love to see that game back. But the game we do have back is in Bedlam hoops. And Porter, we need to win. You want people in the Lloyd Noble Center, and it's not about the stadium. It's not about the arena. It's about the team. And
hey, real quick before we get into this,
to be better.
Hey, real quick before we're going to dig into this, but I just checked my my watch just now, and the Thunder in that big quarterfinal game in the Cup won by 50.
Good if you can get it.
Oh Jesus! I'm sorry.
They Space Jammed all the basketball powers.
I saw that come across my watch. I was like, "Are you?" I thought we were going to struggle. I think Phoenix. I think Booker said they'd figured our offense out. So
yeah, kind of like John Morant.
Yeah, but no. To me, this is a game that, like, we're going to go into it. OSU's 9-0. And close to maybe next ranking, they win this game, maybe being ranked. If we can just take care of business, and it really comes down to knocking down. I mean, at this point, we're not running the offense. I watched it. There's not much offense being ran, but it's all about the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we are an AAU team on offense. I mean, that's pretty clear. It's just like, okay, we get open shots, we knock down open shots, we look really good. When we don't, it looks really bad. And when we're not knocking down shots, we are lazy on defense. That's about the long and short of it.
And Mo has to stay out of foul trouble. I mean, he just, he absolutely does. And, I mean, I'm going to try to be a little more optimistic about it, because we do have a couple of cupcakes between the OSU game and our first 4 games in the SEC are Ole Miss, Mississippi State, A&M, and Florida. I mean, you got a chance to this Ole Miss team's not as good. They're 5-4. Mississippi State's a team that's 4-5. You should be able to get off to a decent start there. A&M's kind of about like we are. Did you play Florida at home? Maybe you can build up a little momentum, but if you're going to get that momentum, I just think it kind of needs to start with the Bedlam win.
It does. To me, it's like, well, what did we say these next 4 games? We needed to go at least 2-2.
Yeah. And we won our first 2. We did,
2-1. But it just comes down. I mean, defense is the name of the game.
And I at least want this to be, we can't afford a performance like we've had at Gonzaga or like we had at Arizona State. Stay out of the freaking Mountain and Pacific time zones. Let's stay the crap out of those. At least this is at Paycom. So, and we didn't join, we didn't join anything that's going to make us go west of Texas. So maybe we'll be okay as we go on. So we'll see.
Hey, they just saw my son just Banker popped in. He's been trying to get on the podcast. I love it. No, I agree. There's so much. It's funny. We're good at football right now, so like we haven't. Remember last year how much we focused on basketball because we were
getting ready for the Armed Forces Bowl.
Yeah. So, but to me, I told Steve before we got on the pod, I said, maybe this is our reverse psychology, like play like kind of a lackluster non-conference. And then when we get to conference play, we step it up.
But I do still think this basketball team probably is more talented, top to bottom than last year's was. But we've got to have some consistency.
Yeah.
Because last year, Fears was able to create offense. Okay. And we don't have him to create offense. So we've got to find ways to score, and we've got to keep Mo out of foul trouble to have any sort of defensive presence and rebounding at the rim.
And we've got players. That's what's funny is we got one of the best transfer portal class of anybody in college basketball. So at this point, it's like we got players. And I do think as the more they play with each other and the more they kind of get some continuity, that they're going to get better. It's just, to me, and that's what I look at the defensive side of the ball. I'm like, oh, what do you know? A team that has never played with each other and you got 8 new players can't play defense. Who would have thought it? I mean, that's common sense.
We talk about the men. That's a pretty big game for the ladies too. I mean, OSU women are pretty good as well. I think they're ranked right on the fringe of the top 25 as well at the Bedlam doubleheader. if you're able to go get it. And while I do still think there's a lot of upside with our women's team, we haven't exactly played up to our potential there yet either. So hopefully see growth there as well.
Chavez is starting to play like the number one player.
Yeah, 33 last game. Jeremy, you're the softball guy. I'm going to allow you to touch on this before we sign off. Any thoughts on the Bordy portaling, transferring, leaving, whatever you want to, just open floor for you to talk on that.
I don't think what's funny is I don't think people that don't know the situation, which is, I think it's some homesick stuff and just want to be closer to home. I do think that Patty has done everything in her power to give this, player as much freedom as she can, give her the ability to make a decision. And if you want to know why Patty Gasso is the GOAT in softball, that's why. Is because she puts her players first. I just think they all came to agreement that we'd rather her be happy and be closer to home than come here and be miserable. It's a lot like the Jordy Ball situation. Jordy Ball said, I won my 2 national championships. I would like to be closer to home and see if I can't bring Nebraska back on the map. And I'm not saying Sophia Bordy is like Jordy Ball.
She hasn't done the things that that she did. But no, again,
I mean, also too, I don't think Sophia Bordy was probably going to be a big factor this year. I don't.
I mean, and you've got a lot more insights into that than I do, but I don't really think it's that much of an impact on the wins and losses for this year.
The LSU pitcher, I think that's why they went after her, because I think they saw the writing on the wall, in my opinion.
I agree.
And really all they need this year, and then we'll get into softball when it gets closer, but really all they need is somebody just to keep them at bay, because their offense is going to be probably record-breaking, in my opinion. So I've talked to a few people, and they're like, they have home run hitters 1 through 9. So it is, I think, going to be another year that OU is going to be in the hunt, believe it or not. I know it's crazy to think.
Shocker.com. So no pod this weekend, guys, unless there's some, breaking news.
Unless Brent Venables, we find out he gets fired for that.
Yeah. One of those
that
things.
Will be pod worthy, I can promise you.
But we will see you, but we will have an official preview pod for the Bama games, for the playoff game next week. And so Jeremy and I will probably do it on Wednesday. We may have to do it earlier, change a little bit with our schedules, but just look for it in its normal location.
Yeah. Guys, and subscribe to us. Let's get to 200. If you want to give us a Christmas present, subscribe to our podcast. That's a good Christmas present for us.
Or Jeremy and I can throw our Venmos up there too. And when we
and also too, we're trying to get the Rose Bowl. We make it. Go ahead. Hey, we will do a live Sooner cast at the Rose Bowl.
Teddy and Gabe making a big deal about a live, Oklahoma breakdown.
I know what everybody wants.
What they do. There's some nice porta potties right off Jenkins. Jeremy and I can set our phones on the edge of them, and we can do a live Sooner cast as well. So get ready for that.
I know what everybody wants. They want to see a live on-site Sooner cast, not this stupid Oklahoma breakdown. All right, but subscribe to YouTube, follow us on Apple and Spotify. Guys, where you can find us on email.
Yeah, and subscriber number did go up. I think it's went up 1 since our last pod, but we're creeping up there. So closer to 200 and increased revenue stream for the old Soonercasters here. But Soonercast@gmail.com. Have a great week, everybody. Don't be like Sharon Moore. Boomer.
Boomer Sooner.